Picture yourself navigating the seas. The stars are your only guidance. This is what it was like for seafarers before one of the most important inventions in all of humanity. The compass has changed the world and how we look at it. Come with me on a journey where we dive deep into its history, learn and shape your own opinion on what would happen if the compass did not exist. So, how did people navigate before the compass? The only source of navigation was the stars and large landforms. Constellation and landmarks were used to navigate where people were going. In the Aboriginal community, patterns of the stars were used as waypoints and hold great significance. One method including the stars to the songline to navigate across the country. Stars were used for telling the indigenous people the seasonal supply of food, such as the Milky Way galaxy as a river full of fish. Polynesians also navigated the stars, but they also used wave patterns and currents. The star compass, known as the Master Celestial Navigator, had the corresponding quadrants divided by the sky. Vikings would navigate using 5 senses with some practical knowledge. Vikings often used their mental map and navigated with landmarks such as hills and rocks. Experienced Vikings would look for whales feeding in the currents or listening for waves breaking on the shore. Some could even smell the land in a sea breeze. Water depth would be checked with a plumb bomb that had the weight on the line. Approximately 206 BC to about 220 AD ruled one of the most grand empires in Chinese history. This empire was called the Han Dynasty. In China, the Han Dynasty is considered the golden age of Chinese history because during this phase, 4 great inventions were developed. These are gunpowder, paper, printing, and the compass. Most historians agree that gunpowder's origins were in China due to the amount of archaeological evidence. The mixture comprised of 3 powders that would fly and dance violently. A new type of paper was invented by Kai Lun. This paper was bamboo fibers and the inner bark of a mulberry tree. Once pounded together, the mixture was poured over a flat woven cloth that let the water drain. This material dried and the fibers were a good writing surface. The printing evolved from ink rubbings that were made on cloths from text or paper. The text was a few woodblocks printed fragments of silk. The Chinese ironfish was a version of the compass that was tested by the Chinese Empire. Anyone who witnessed the construction or testing of the ironfish was to keep it a secret and to not let anyone know about it. The book from which this text was sourced dates back to exactly 1040 AD and was written by a man named Sung Tung Liang. The ironfish was created by getting a thin leaf, casting the leaf with molten iron and shaping the leaf and iron into, well, the shape of a fish. While the fish is still molten, it must be magnetized by cooling it down and having its tail point in the direction of the North Pole. Once all of this is complete, placing it in a box filled with water, as long as there is no wind, the head of the fish will always point south. This was one of the first navigational experiments with the compass. I believe, and research suggests, that the reason this experiment was constructed was so the Chinese could evolve their learning of what this mystical substance that they could find the solution of peace. They wanted to evolve and they needed a way to do so. The compass was their best hope. In the year 1300, Flavio Jojua invented the needle compass. This is a theory about how the modern compass has come to be, but it might not be true. Recent research has shown that a man by the name of Flavio Biondo wrote a statement that the modern compass was invented by Amalfitians, people that lived in Amalfi, an independent state of Italy. It said, Flavio Dicta. Translate that to English and you get 2 Amalfitians, comma, as reported by Flavio. This was not what Flavio was trying to say. He made a simple punctuation mistake when writing the statement. This research was important to the people of this time because they needed a way to traverse large areas of land and not getting lost. With this new needle compass, it was easier than ever before for these people to find where they are going. The compass is based on the North and South Pole. The North Pole and the South Pole are what the compass is looking for when pointing its needle. The magnets in the needle are attracted to the poles, so when the needle is still, it means that it will be pointing at the North Pole. However, where it is pointing is not directly at the North Pole. It's actually pointing at the magnetic North Pole, as opposed to pointing to the true North Pole. It is a compass that uses a spinning disc and the Earth's rotation to find the North and South Poles. There's a difference between a dry compass and a wet compass. A dry compass is a standard needle compass where it's solely based on the needle on the north and south poles. The needle is on a pin in a glass box with a windrose. A wet compass is a navigational compass that floats in liquid. This protects the compass from wobbling, therefore improving the interpretation of the compass. A gyro compass is a compass that uses a spinning disc and the Earth's rotation to find the north and south poles. There were some really big initial impacts of the invention of the compass. The compass was actually used for ancient Chinese art called geomancy. This art was used to align your house with harmony of the earth, whichever way the compass pointed, which was the way the house faced. It also helped sea explorers navigate. For the modern compass, it allowed explorers to find new places and discover more of the earth. There are much more sophisticated compasses that are used in the modern world. The Global Positioning System, GPS, is a satellite-based navigation system that has 30 satellites orbiting the Earth. This altitude is 20,000 kilometers. The system is made up of 3 parts: satellites, ground stations, and receivers. The satellites perform like constellations. Ground stations use radars and the receivers are listening for the signals from the satellites. Maps also use compasses. On a map, the latitude lines go east to west. This will measure how far north or south you are from the equator. The longitude lines run north to south and measure how far east or west you are. A map's position is defined by the position of its southeast, bottom right corner, and is orientated so north is up and south is down. For a bearing, a map will need to be aligned with a magnetic north and a compass placed onto the map. You will need to twist the bezel for the red arrow to align with the needle, and look at the degree of your bearing. All ready to go, but the compass needs to be level with the arrow, headed in the right direction. Another tool that can be used is the sundial, which can indicate the time of the day from the position of the sun in the sky. A dial and a gnomon cast a shadow onto the dial, where the sun appears and moves across the sky. The shadow aligns with different hour lines. These are marked on the dial to tell the time of the day. You know, the compass can be used to find out where you are or where you want to go. But can it be used in a non-navigational way? It was originally designed for geomancy, a Chinese art form. The compass also shows degrees on it, degrees as in angles, not temperature, and some compasses can be attached with a ruler. It is also used in astronomy, building orientation, mining, and the sun compass. The compass has provided mankind the ability to travel the globe in search of adventure and return home safely again. It has been seen throughout the ages as an item of magic and mystery to allow adventurers to visit places they had only dreamed of. The compass has inspired, endangered, and mystified century after century of travellers. Without this incredible invention, may have never had the bravery to explore. The compass has allowed religious expression for believers to travel the world and spread their beliefs of supreme beings and gods. This has developed religions throughout the world, from origins to accepted practice.